Hello, everyone, and welcome to your favorite podcast for learning English, Boost Your English podcast.
I'm Mia.
And I'm Jake. In our last episode, we explored how to boost your vocabulary effortlessly. So many of you love the tips. Keep practicing.
Today, we're diving into something that can instantly improve your confidence: pronunciation. Our episode is called Pronounce English Like a Pro Without Feeling Shy.
Have you ever felt nervous speaking English because you're unsure about how to say certain words? You're not alone.
Many learners struggle with pronunciation, but the good news is you don't have to be perfect. You just need the right techniques to sound clearer and more natural.
In this episode, we'll share 3 powerful tips that will help you pronounce English words with confidence without fear or embarrassment.
To make it even easier, we've created a free resource for this episode, which includes the transcription of this podcast and a series of exercises that will help you study and improve your English skills.
So, are you ready to speak English with confidence and clarity?
Stick with us, and by the end of this episode, you'll feel more comfortable pronouncing English words like a pro. Let's get started. Pronunciation plays a huge role in communication. Even if you have a large vocabulary, if people can't understand you, it can be frustrating.
That's true. Clear pronunciation helps you express yourself more effectively and makes conversations smoother. It also boosts your confidence when speaking.
And here's the thing: perfect pronunciation doesn't mean you have to sound like a native speaker. It's about being clear and understandable.
Exactly. Many learners focus too much on grammar and vocabulary, but forget about pronunciation. But don't worry, because today we'll give you 5 powerful tips to improve it.
Whether you're a beginner or advanced learner, these strategies will help you feel more comfortable speaking English. Let's get started.
Our first tip is to focus on individual sounds. English has sounds that might not exist in your native language, and mastering them can make a big difference.
A great way to practice is by using the International Phonetic Alphabet, or IPA. It helps you understand how each sound is produced.
For example, many learners struggle with the difference between ship and sheep. The vowel sound is slightly different, but it changes the meaning completely.
One way to train your ears is by listening to minimal pairs, words that sound almost the same but have one key difference, like bit and beat.
Exactly. You can find lists of minimal pairs online or in pronunciation apps. Try repeating them until you hear and produce the difference clearly.
And don't be afraid to exaggerate at first. When you practice, make the sounds bigger and clearer. Over time, they will feel more natural.
Great point. So, start with individual sounds and work on getting them right. It's a small change that makes a big impact.
Next, let's talk about word stress and rhythm. English is a stress-timed language, which means some syllables are stressed more than others.
That's why saying develop instead of develop sounds strange. The stress pattern matters.
Exactly. If you stress the wrong syllable, people might not understand you. So, practice by listening to native speakers and noticing where they place the stress.
Songs and poetry are great tools for this. Try repeating lyrics from your favorite songs or practicing tongue twisters.
Another tip is to break words into syllables and clap on the stress syllable. It makes it easier to feel the rhythm.
Yes, and don't forget sentence stress. Some words in a sentence are emphasized more than others. For example, I never said she stole. My money changes meaning depending on which word is stressed.
That's why practicing with natural sentences, not just single words, is so important. It helps you sound more fluent.
So, focus on stress and rhythm. It's a game changer for clear and natural pronunciation.
One of the fastest ways to improve pronunciation is by imitating native speakers. This method is called shadowing.
That's right. Shadowing means listening to native speech and repeating it immediately, trying to match the pronunciation, speed, and intonation.
Start with slow, clear audio, like audiobooks or news reports. As you get better, try faster speech, like TV shows or podcasts.
A great way to practice is by watching videos with subtitles. Listen first, then repeat along with the speaker, and finally try saying it without looking at the text.
Also, pay attention to how native speakers connect words. In natural speech, "what do you want?" sounds more like "what I want." Learning these patterns makes you sound more fluent.
That's a fantastic tip. The more you listen and imitate, the more natural your pronunciation will become.
So, find content you enjoy and start shadowing today. Many learners think speaking fast makes them sound fluent, but that's not true. Speaking too quickly can make pronunciation errors worse.
Exactly. If you slow down, your words will be clearer and people will understand you better. Focus on articulation, not speed.
A great trick is to record yourself speaking and listen back. Are you mumbling? Are your words clear? This helps you identify areas for improvement.
Another tip is to practice tongue twisters. They train your mouth to move smoothly between difficult sounds.
And don't forget to use natural pauses. Short breaks between thoughts make your speech easier to follow and sound more confident.
Yes. So, slow down, articulate clearly, and don't rush. Your pronunciation will improve dramatically.
Finally, confidence is key. The more you practice speaking, the more comfortable you'll feel.
Absolutely. Many learners are afraid of making mistakes, but mistakes are part of learning. Even native speakers slip up sometimes.
Try speaking out loud every day. Describe your day, read aloud, or have conversations with yourself.
Also, find a speaking partner. Practicing with others makes speaking feel more natural and less intimidating.
Apps that analyze your pronunciation can also help. They give instant feedback and show where you can improve.
Another great method is keeping a pronunciation journal. Write down words you struggle with and review them regularly.
And most importantly, have fun. The more you enjoy the process, the easier it becomes.
Exactly. So, practice daily, stay positive, and soon you'll be speaking English like a pro. Now, let's switch gears and talk about some key vocabulary to help you pronounce English like a pro.
The first word is fluency. This means the ability to speak a language smoothly and easily. For example, with regular practice, you can achieve fluency in English.
Next, we have intonation. This refers to the rise and fall of your voice when speaking. For instance, good intonation helps convey meaning and emotion in a sentence.
Then there's articulation. This means the clear and precise pronunciation of words. Like, practicing tongue twisters can improve your articulation.
Another important phrase is speech rhythm. It refers to the natural flow and timing of spoken language. For example, English has a different speech rhythm compared to other languages.
Finally, we have phonetic. This word relates to the sounds of speech and how they are produced. For instance, understanding phonetic symbols can help you pronounce words correctly.
Practice these words, and you'll not only expand your vocabulary, but also improve your pronunciation skills.
Remember, learning new words is an essential step toward mastering English. Keep practicing, and you'll sound more natural and confident.
Before we finish, we want to hear from you. What's the hardest English sound for you to pronounce?
And which tip are you most excited to try out to improve your pronunciation? Let us know in the comments below.
Let's quickly recap the most important tips we discussed today. which will help you pronounce English like a pro.
First, focusing on individual sounds is crucial. English has many unique sounds that may not exist in your native language, so mastering them will greatly improve your clarity.
Remember, you don't need to sound like a native speaker, but understanding and correctly producing these sounds will help you communicate more effectively.
Second, paying attention to word stress and rhythm is key. English is a stress-timed language, meaning some syllables are stressed more than others. This affects how clear your speech is.
Stressing the wrong syllable can make your words sound unnatural. So, practice stressing the right syllables and getting the rhythm of the sentence right for smoother, more confident speech.
Third, imitate native speakers. Shadowing, or mimicking the pronunciation, speed, and intonation of native speakers is one of the fastest ways to improve your pronunciation.
Listening to slow, clear audio at first and then progressing to faster content will help you get used to natural speech patterns.
Fourth, don't forget to speak slowly and clearly. Speaking too fast can make your pronunciation harder to understand, so focus on articulating your words and using natural pauses.
And finally, the key to all of this is confidence. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become in your pronunciation. Don't fear mistakes. They're part of the learning process.
So, to summarize, mastering sounds, understanding stress and rhythm, imitating native speakers, slowing down your speech, and practicing daily will make a huge difference in your pronunciation. Stick with these habits, and you'll sound more natural and confident in no time. Wow, Jake, what a great episode. We've covered so many valuable tips for improving pronunciation, and I'm sure our listeners will feel more confident when speaking English.
Absolutely, Mia. From focusing on individual sounds to imitating native speakers, we've shared practical strategies that anyone can start using today.
That's right. And remember, you don't have to be perfect. Consistency is key. Just keep practicing, and you'll see noticeable improvements.
And don't forget about the importance of slowing down and focusing on clarity. Speaking slowly helps prevent mistakes and makes you sound more confident.
Plus, the more you practice, the easier it becomes. So, keep going. Even if you make mistakes, they're just part of the learning process.
Exactly. If you want to take it a step further, we've created a special pronunciation guide for you, packed with tips and exercises to help you master these techniques.
You can find the link to download it in the description of this episode. It's a great way to reinforce what we've discussed today.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. That way, you won't miss any of our tips for improving your English.
We release new episodes regularly, so you'll always find something fresh and useful to keep boosting your language skills.
Oh, and be sure to tune into our next episode. It's going to be all about mastering intonation and rhythm to sound even more natural in your conversations.
Thanks for listening, and remember, improving your pronunciation takes time, but with practice, you'll speak English like a pro.
See you next time, and keep practicing your pronunciation every day.